Welcome back to the Raiderland Roundtable. Scott Fitzgerald, Clint Stevenson, Travis Cram, and David Collier from Red Raider Nation. We're hanging out talking a little bit bigger college football picture right now. Not a lot of marquee games. We had a great week one opening weekend, but it's kind of a little dull. Let's start in the Big 12. TCU, about a touchdown and a half favorite there over Arkansas. This is an SEC Big 12 matchup. Can TCU maybe rehabilitate their image this weekend against the Hogs? What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, that was probably all a shock from what they saw at South Dakota State the other night. And, I don't think anyone was expecting them to come firing out of the gate and surprise them a little bit. But as soon as I got home, and yes, I left at halftime.
Yes.
I have a 9-year-old, or I have a 10-year-old. I have a good excuse. I flipped over back and forth from the Tech game to that game. And as soon as I did, sure enough, that tip pass down the sideline, and all of a sudden TCU kind of blew it open after that. So I think they do.
Does the Big 12 need this?
Oh, I think so, especially against the SEC. I mean, we already know the perception nationally of the Big 12. TCU is considered one of the favorites, probably the favorite in the Big 12 now that Oklahoma has lost. So if they go and lay an egg against an Arkansas team that struggled against Louisiana Tech 21-20, that was the final of that game, right?
Yep.
Louisiana Tech, really?
Yeah.
Really? You need to win that game.
SEC was 7-7 last week. So
Yeah, they weren't exactly
I
impressive.
think they've got a point to prove at this point, though. They've heard a lot nationally how down the SEC is, so I think they'll be ready.
Well, we hear all the time the SEC and how they chant SEC at their games, and everybody roots for everybody in the conference. Clint, are you one of those guys who's a Big 12 first guy? Do you root for teams in the Big 12, or is it just your own personal interest?
Well, I strongly dislike or I hate both of those teams, actually. And, I would root for an earthquake, but yeah, I'm going to go for the Big 12.
That was last week.
Yeah, I know. There's just sometimes I don't know what to do, so I just sit there with no pants on, eat cheese, and stare at the TV, But I'll just go for the Big 12 team.
That's also available on his Periscope broadcast, ladies, if you'd like to tune in nightly at 8:45. Scott, Big 12, anything on the line here?
Yeah, there is something on the line because TCU had one of those games that I think Texas Tech fans are familiar with in the nothing's wrong, folks. We gave up 42 points to South Dakota State.
Call! All is well!
Nothing's wrong. And we've seen that where you give up that many points early in the season to a bad opponent, and it translates a little later in the year. I think TCU is in trouble. I think offensively they'll get a little bit better with – do I have to pay him $10 if I say Kenny Trill?
20.
Oh, 20? Okay, sorry. Then Kenny Hill Jr., and I think that offense will move the ball, but Arkansas may be able to score some points.
All right, a true-false question. We'll start off over here. You'll tune in to watch Virginia Tech and Tennessee only because they're playing at Bristol Motor Speedway and it's going to set an attendance record there at the home of NASCAR.
True, because of how bad Tennessee was against Appalachian State, and they should have lost that game.
In Life After Beamer.
True, for the exact same reason. I'll look at the track. They'll talk about it a little bit, and I'm not watching Josh Dobbs play football.
Yeah, I'm actually Tennessee's 11-point favorite. I'm still taking Dick Trickle and Kyle Petty to go 1-2 in this one.
I think you're right, and I think it would be a better game if they'd have a race going on during it, so there's a bigger chance of death.
Now that's interesting.
I think that'd be great.
Will you watch that at all, Scott?
NASCAR or Tennessee?
Either one.
Oh, okay. Well, there are plenty of gas cans around there, so if the Tennessee fans lose, there's a chance that Bristol will go up in flames.
All right, so we get stuff on Twitter at the Raiderland is our Twitter handle, and we got asked earlier today, noise level at Jones Stadium. I'm in the press box. It's hard to hear anything. It's like watching the game in your closet through a viewfinder. It's a horrible experience. I don't wish it on anybody to be in the main press box. You guys, a lot of y'all, you were down on the floor Saturday. Yeah. Some of y'all were in the stands. Is it that loud? Is the Raider Vision that annoying?
Well, I'm going to say this. If you play bad music, then it's too loud.
Yeah.
If you play good music, then it's not too loud. And we won't debate what's good music and what's bad music. I didn't hear any wailing the other night, but that might be a good thing if you're going to put that in the rotation.
Does that stuff enhance the game at all, what they do on the board or anything?
I don't think so. I think it's just, I would like to have one in my house, but other than that, I don't think it does.
Zoning change, maybe.
Yeah, it does seem louder sometimes. I don't know what it is, but it does seem louder. But, in the second half when you're so drunk you can't hear it, really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so
the ones that were there had to be drunk there in the second half.
They had to be.
There's no other explanation. What do you guys think?
I think basically the only thing that it brings to the table is the highlights that are called during the game.
The guy calling the highlights.
Calling the highlights.
Exceptional work, particularly in the second half. in front of 13 people.
Yeah, the second
And
half
Rick
was
Dykes.
much better. The first half, he was doing more of a Houdini type thing. He was trying to call the highlights without looking at them. I don't know how that went.
You could hear it from your house.
Yes.
I think I could hear it on the Marcia Sharp Freeway with my radio turned all the way up still.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. To me, it didn't bother me that much. Now, I'd like to know who it was, what side of the field they were sitting on, because I was on the east side, and I'm amongst the students and a lot of people standing. It was loud as anything from the fan standpoint.
Yeah.
Not necessarily from the PA, but I think part of this is because we spent so much time complaining about how low the noise was
For years.
that now it's just like
Show you.
overbearing. It's like we're going to make it as loud as possible. Then maybe we'll tone it down a little bit. for
My
the
only
next
thing is I like the college experience, and that means the going band from Raiderland. I don't know why they're there. They keep playing crappy canned music. If I were in the band, I'd get up and walk out the first time they pointed over and said, okay, now it's your turn. Really? Take this trombone. Screw you. We're leaving. More band. Some sponsor wants to make some money. Call up the marketing people out there and say, we'll sponsor the band playing. You just show our logo and say, here's the band. People will be happy.
Will they call you back?
No. I'll never get a call. All right, you guys know what to do. You follow us on social media. On the website, you're already on it if you're watching this. On Twitter, we're all on Twitter. You can see the handles at the Raiderland. If you got a comment or a question, leave it here on the site for us, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Everybody be safe. Have fun this weekend.